Backstage, we were talking nothing about Amazon. We were talking about the universe.
Yeah.
Because you are a huge fan
of the universe.
Of the universe.
Let's hear it for the universe. Come on, it's your universe too. Thank you.
So I'm just curious if there's any universe fans out there. Any guesses how old the universe is? Because Paul blew my mind with how old the universe is. Any guesses? Just yell it at me. 20 million? 30 million? 13 million? Okay, is she right?
No, you're off by a factor of 1,000. It's billion, right? Sorry, it's a language thing, I bet. But 13.7 billion years.
Which is incredible. And you also tell me about how fast the universe is expanding.
Yeah, it is. Rapidly, of course. The universe is expanding because of, it's actually accelerating because of dark energy. It turns out that the universe is only about 4% ordinary baryonic matter. The other 96% of the universe is not matter or light or buildings or planets or stars or galaxies. It's other stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to hear about innovation at Amazon, and if any of you see this wonderful gentleman walking around, if you want to know how to start a conversation with him, talk to him about Amazon or the universe. He's all yours. All right, enjoy.
Dan, thank you so much. Well, so if you were granted any one wish, anything you wanted, what would you wish for? Would you wish for world peace, the end of hunger, cure all diseases, a new Lamborghini, $10 million? No, you wouldn't wish for any of those things. You'd wish for more wishes, right? You'd wish for 10 wishes. You'd wish for 100 wishes. You'd wish for unlimited wishes. And with those unlimited wishes, well, you could cure disease and drive a Lambo. Well, okay. Then what if you were to invent a machine? Any machine you could invent, any machine you could want, what would you invent? Well, you would invent an invention machine, a machine that invents other things. It turns out that at Amazon, we have invented an invention machine. And frankly, if you like it, you may borrow it. Well, how does it work? Okay, this invention machine isn't the kind of thing that you can see or touch or anything like that. It's a machine, but the important thing is that it works. It actually does produce inventions rapidly, turns out. Like a Turing machine, it has three basic components. The input, kind of the purpose, why does it exist, what's it do? The algorithm, how does it work, how does it make inventions? And lastly, the output. So input, algorithm, output. Well, so the input of the invention machine at Amazon is the purpose, the reason it exists. And at Amazon, it's customer obsession. We obsess over our customers. We're always focused on what they want, what they need, what they prefer. And you might say, okay, well, that's easy. Of course you're focused on your customers. That's what an enterprise does. That's what a company should do anyway. But the problem is it's actually not very easy. It turns out that most commercial enterprises end up focusing on their competitors or worrying about some new regulation, some new ideas. They're not focused on their customers. At Amazon, we happen to be focused on our customers. And it turns out that in the context of innovation, especially at Amazon, that customer obsession is manifest in a doctrine we call the working backwards process. And here's how it goes. If today, we have an idea for a new product or service that we want to offer sometime in the future, is it 6 months from now? Is it 2 years from now? Is it 5 years from now? Today, with that idea in mind for the new product or service, today we will write out a press release describing the new product or service. A press release that's designed to go out 6 months, 2 years, 5 years from now. We'll write the press release. Okay, what does that do for us? Well, first of all, because you've written it down, it's a commitment. You've decided that you're going to produce something, a new product or service for your customer some point in the future. You've written it down. Second, because it's a press release, it's in customer language. It's in a language that she cares about, that she would understand, that she would appreciate. You've written it in customer language. You've written about what is in it for the customer. You haven't written at all about how you did it, because frankly, the customer doesn't care. It's up to you to figure out how to get from today to that point in the future. And lastly, by writing the press release today for something that won't be available to customers until months or years from now, you're admitting that what you want to do today is not possible today. Because if it were possible today, you'd write the press release and send it out this afternoon. You'd send it out tomorrow morning or early next week. The point is that by writing it today, knowing that it won't go out for months or years from now, you're saying, I don't know how to do this. I need to invent something between now and then to get to the point where we can provide this new product or service to customers. Okay. I had the privilege a few years ago of working on one of these press releases that had to do with Amazon Prime Air. This is our future delivery service by drone, these low-flying package delivery drones, and we're working on that still. And it's really cool technology. It's really hard to do, it turns out. Navigation is easy, but flying an autonomous drone is not easy. We're working on it. But the press release that we drafted, I remember it very well, it talks about delivery to a customer within 30 minutes of an order. Delivery to a customer within 30 minutes of an order. It's that simple. All the complicated stuff that we're needing to invent to make an unmanned aerial vehicle work, it's up to us. It's not up to the customer to know how that works or to care about it, other than delivery to a customer in 30 minutes of an order. It's that simple. All right, that's the input. Now, how about the algorithm? Remember, there's the input, the algorithm, and the output. The algorithm, at Amazon, that algorithm is innovation. Making new things, doing new things, trying new things, experimenting, and, importantly, being willing to fail. Now, it turns out that innovation, of course, the very word means doing something new. And so if you're doing something new, by definition, you have to experiment. You have to try it. And an actual experiment is something that you cannot know with certainty how it's going to turn out. I think part of the problem in schools around the world, we teach our children to do experiments. Here, come do this experiment. And this little girl comes in, she does her experiment, she does everything right. She boils something, pours something, mixes something, and it turns blue. She did it right. The teacher knew how it was supposed to turn out, and the little girl, she's smart, so she knew how it was supposed to turn out. That is not an experiment. It cannot be an experiment because at least two people, the teacher and the smart student, knew how it was supposed to turn out. An actual experiment must be able to fail, again, or else it's not an experiment. So at Amazon, in the context of innovation and experimentation, it's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to waste a lot of money. Because then ultimately, it's not really wasted because you're experimenting on behalf of customers. Now, it turns out we've had some failures over the years. Jeff personally takes credit for billions of dollars of failure. We've had billions of dollars of failure, for sure. One of the failures that people tend to know about and remember, we had a phone for a while. We had a mobile phone about 5 years ago. And I think we were selling it for about 8 months. It was not a commercial success. And we thought it had a lot of cool features to it and some innovative new ideas. It was not a commercial success. It cost us a few $100 million. But that was not the reason the failure was so painful to old-timers like me. I'm in my 20th year at Amazon, and the phone sticks out as a painful memory, not because it was a failure. I'm telling you about our failures. I'm telling you that we had many, many times more money failures. We've had billions of dollars of failure, much more failures than the Fire phone. But the Fire phone was painful to us old-timers simply because it was a failure that customers experienced. We would much rather have our failures happen in the quiet, not because we're embarrassed about them. I'm here telling you about them. We're not embarrassed. We want them quiet only because we don't want our customers to experience the failures. So, at Amazon, in the context of innovation and experimentation, failure is okay. And in fact, we actually are told to work to disconfirm our beliefs, which is to say, if you have an idea for a product or service at Amazon, you actually need to yourself try to make your own idea fail. Try to overcome your own confirmation bias. It's hard to do. Okay. The input, customer obsession. The algorithm, this innovation and this willingness to fail and actually trying to disconfirm our own beliefs. Lastly, the output. Customers only see the output. If all the obsessing over customers, all the innovation on their behalf doesn't matter at all to an actual customer unless she sees the actual result. When she gets the actual product or service, then she can appreciate the obsession, the innovation, but it's actually delivering this final result, which is so crucial. And it turns out that in itself is very difficult. It's difficult in large measure because it requires betting. When I say betting, I mean taking risks. So the company has always taken risks. We've taken some very big risks, made some very big bets. One example is our cloud computing business, Amazon Web Services. We have offices here in Poland, and it's an important service that we're providing to a lot of customers around the world. It turns out to be something our customers really like. But in early 2000s, 2003, 2004, nobody was coming to Amazon saying, please build a cloud computing service. No one was coming to anybody saying, please build a cloud computing service. It didn't exist. No one was saying, hey, I don't want to buy computer hardware anymore. I'm tired of leasing software and taking care of all this equipment. I'd rather use computing services in the cloud. No one was saying that, and yet we figured they might like this. Customers might like the ability to use cloud services, that is to say, computing as a service, to use it as they go. And it turns out they did, but that was a big bet. It paid off, it worked, and when I say it paid off, I mean that customers like it, which of course is the ultimate measure. But why are we able to take a big bet like AWS, our cloud computing business? Why? Well, the reason is very simple, but it's very hard, and that is we bet all the time. You see, the problem is that a lot of enterprises, commercial enterprises in particular, will be perfectly happy to provide a product or service that they've been providing for decades. It's very successful, their customers love it, and they do this one thing, that's all they do, and they keep doing it, and customers are happy, and then something changes. And all of a sudden, they need to innovate. They need to figure out a new way to do something. They need to find a new product or service because all of a sudden theirs is obsolete. For some reason, it may not be their fault at all. Some new discovery, some new change in environment, who knows? And they suddenly need to invent and innovate. Well, that might work, but the chances are that it won't work, simply because there's too much pressure on that one moment. The difference is at Amazon, we're betting all the time. How do we get away with this? How is it possible that we're able to bet all the time? Well, the basic reason is that success in business like this is not capped. Think of it this way. The Poland national team, the Eagles, this is the football club. If it were to play a match against a bunch of 5-year-old boys and everyone were to try very hard and do their very best, what's going to be the outcome of the match? Well, the Eagles will win something like 75-0. What do the Eagles get out of it? One victory. Just one victory. Even though it's 75-0, a completely lopsided victory, it's still only one victory. Business is not like that. If you win with something, a new product or service, it could be one victory, it could be 10, it could be 10,000. There's no upper cap. And when you have victories like 10,000, you can pay for a whole lot of losses along the way. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The input, the algorithm, the output, that's the Amazon invention machine. If you like it, you're welcome to borrow it. Thank you very much.